Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome and good morning to Mindset Monday. And what we're going to talk about today is having the right mindset, not just around the holidays, but in business too, right? And it's having that mindset of serving first, all right? Because when you lead with that and you lead with serving, all right, people know, okay? And when you can make an impact, right, you are going to do way, way better in business and in life, right? Here's what I mean by that. Most people, when they start their business, it's all about making money, right? For me, it wasn't so much about making money. It was about I kept working up the corporate ladder, and then they stopped with, they changed the pay scale or they changed the comp plan, right? And so I was always chasing a goal, and when I would get there, they would change the goal on me, and I never ever wanted to deal with that again. So I decided to start my own business, which turned into multiple businesses. And then usually, when you're in your first couple of years of business, you really don't know what's going on, all right, and you're just worried about making as much money as possible, all right. And then you kind of figure out the more of an impact you have with people, and the more that you can actually serve them, the better your business is going to do. All right. The money is a byproduct of you serving and creating massive value, right? When you can change somebody's life, when you can really help them and put them in a better spot, you are always, always, always going to do way, way better. And think about it like this, too, guys. What's one of the most painful experiences that you guys ever deal with? For most people, it's car shopping. Why? Because everywhere, no, seriously, Dave, everywhere you go, you feel like you're getting sold. Like you walk in and,
Just
hey, what are you looking for? What can I get you? You know? And it's nonstop. All right. And that is the difference between, what feeling like you're being sold, which nobody likes, and then having somebody that can actually genuinely care and genuinely or is trying to help you. All right. And it is a complete mind shift change. Dave, what are your thoughts on that?
yeah, 100%, man. It's always better to give and than to take, man. There's already we talk about it a lot, man. There's too many takers in the world, right?
Yeah.
Like be a giver, and there's really no better feeling when you can give a hand out in order to give somebody a hand up. Like perfect examples when we were feeding the homeless. When we fed the homeless locally in our area, man. Like, dude, everybody has a story, right? And it's not always like you expect. Hey, they want to be here. This is their life, and this is what happens, and they put themselves in that situation. I guess that a lot of that's not true, but it just feels so good to be able to be a server, right? Servant leadership. That's a way of leadership that people don't talk about. And the
Mhm.
universe is watching, man. There's a law of reciprocity. When you put that back out there into the world, you're gonna get it back tenfold. You
Yeah.
know, not to dive down the rabbit hole, but look at Charlie Kirk, right? Like that dude gave so much to college kids, to the youth, to be a voice. He gave his time on those campuses, right? And how many people were changed and inspired by that demographic, that age group, because he gave back, he gave he gave an ear, right? A lot of people think, oh, he just gave a voice, like people that don't know who he is and so forth, that he just gave a voice, he was just speaking rhetoric, he was speaking this, he was speaking that. But when you really dive deep and watch everything in full context, he gave an ear and he gave back and forth dialogue, which really that's how the world's supposed to work, open dialogue concept. But you give, man. It just feels, and it feels good. It is the ultimate best feeling, like when you give something back.
Yeah. Especially when you know like that person cannot repay you,
Yeah.
The reality is being around people like that, you'll always get further ahead, right? You're going to feel better about yourself and making that difference. Like one of the things that like we do a lot of is people usually take some pretty messed up financing, right? And it's usually they were lied to. There's just a lot of different things that go into it. But when we break that down, right, and when we can educate them and show them how to get out of it, and then help them get out of it, it's a big win. And like I've had a lot of people reach out and, hey, you saved my business. Well, when I hear that I saved somebody's business, I didn't just save the business, right? How many jobs did I save? Right? How many clients did I save? Right? Well, how did that impact the surrounding community? Okay, and that is what that's the difference. That's the shift, um, mind state shift that you need. How can you make that difference in your clients? How can you make that difference in with your friends? How can you make it with your family or in your community? Right? What are you doing to serve at that level? And when you can look at the world through that lens and constantly approach it from that lens, and it's not easy, guys. That is not an easy lens to constantly be in. All right. But when you can be, or you can do that the majority of the time, or you can be self aware to get yourself back in that state, okay, you're going to make a much bigger impact. And then all the other goals that you have, right, they'll happen. They will happen over time. It'll come naturally. It's not going to feel like you're fighting it as much, right? And as much as I'm up here saying it for you guys, sometimes I need to hear this too, to get myself back into that mode.
Yeah. Gives you a sense of purpose, man. It drives you towards that purpose or purpose-driven life. If you guys haven't read The Purpose-Driven Life, I highly recommend it, especially if you're on the fence, right? Like if you're in an area where you don't feel like, hey, I'm not serving, or hey, if I'm just focused on taking and money and all this stuff, if you have no clear vision, read that book, man. Like it will give you a clear definition of, hey, what is my actual purpose here? What am I doing? What am I serving? Who am I becoming? Who am I serving to? We all know like we only serve one, right? Like one. Yeah. But what are you serving that downstream? Okay. What are you being a disciple of? Right. So what's that root word of disciple? Kind of discipline, right? So what are you serving out on that?
Yeah. I'm telling you, it's a game changer, guys. It's not easy. It's hard. Sometimes, you take a couple lumps doing it, but in the long run, that strategy, that mindset always, always, always wins out.
Yeah. And I think to even build the habit, man, yes, it's hard, but it doesn't take money either.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people forget that. Like it doesn't take money to do this stuff, man. It takes some of your time, right? Mm-hmm. But you don't need money to do it.
Yeah, it's a biblical concept, guys. Mm-hmm. Serve first, right? How many people can you help positively? How many people can you make an impact? I'll give you a great example of this, right? There are some people that are not ready to work with us, right? They really aren't, because maybe their revenues aren't there, or their credit isn't there, or some aspect of their business is missing before we can actually step in and help. Well, I don't just discard them, right? I send them information, all right? I send them a podcast that I think will help them, how to build the foundation of their business, how to do this, how to do that, right? If their credit is really bad, we connect them with Dave. Or if there's something that we can do to help, we help them and we try to put them in a better position. And then guess what? When they are in a position to work with us, where do you think they're going to go? They're definitely going to come back here. And guess what? If any of their friends or family needs what we do, they usually are the loudest, fans. Hey, these guys helped me when no one else would. They kind of told me how it was and what the next steps is I needed to do. I'm sure that they can help you too. Yeah. Right. And that is a never ending positive feedback loop. And it comes from a place of serving first.
Yeah. It's a key word, right? Like it goes along with everything. Evangelism, they become evangelistic about what you do and what you've done for them. Same thing like with us, like a lot of people aren't ready to go, or they just, they're broke, but we always give an action plan. Like, hey, look, here's what you can do on your own. I don't care if you come with us or not. Like you're going to get this regardless. Here you go. These are steps that you can take to build at least. All that other stuff takes a little deep dive and so forth. But these are the things that we're going to help you do anyway, but you have to do them on your own. Like we can't sign your name and we can't put your social security number down, but you can. And these are the steps that you do to move forward with that. Oh man, this is great, man. Thank you so much. 9 times out of 10, they're either going to call back or they're going to be like, hey, this guy, he took a chance. They did this, they did that. They sent me this, check it out, and again, it's just giving, man. It's just being a servant. It comes back to always doing the right thing, all the time, 100% of the time.
100%. All right, guys. Well, look, we'll catch you on Financial Fitness Friday. If there's any topics you want us to cover, shoot us a message. Leave a comment. Say, hey, what are your thoughts on this, or how do you approach it this way? Or if it's anything on Financial Fitness Friday, you're unclear of something, markets, economy, business, financing, credit, any of those things, we're here to help. All right. So we'll catch you on Financial Fitness Friday. Take care. Hope you have a great week.
Be great, y'all.